The SEC was created to oversee and manage traditional financial instruments, such as bonds and stocks. Is the SEC unfit to regulate crypto? It was recently reported that Ripple Labs would spend roughly $200 million defending the SEC lawsuit. Could XRP Ripple move out of the US? In the midst of the legal battle between SEC and Coinbase, CDC has filed an amicus brief. What could this lead to? Welcome to the Cryptonomy Times channel, where we aim to keep you updated in crypto and its economy. Here you can learn the recent changes and topics that impact the very crypto world you are passionate about. If you like our content and wish to find the latest updates, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment, as this would help our channel grow, which helps us help you. Let's crash into the video. Is the SEC unfit to regulate crypto? The emergence of cryptocurrencies has challenged traditional financial norms and regulations, giving rise to a new asset class that necessitates regulatory oversight by the US SEC. However, the unique characteristics of cryptocurrencies, including their decentralized nature and lack of central control, present challenges for the SEC, which was established to regulate securities, such as stocks and bonds, to protect investors and facilitate capital formation. Although the SEC has defined some cryptocurrencies as securities, the application of traditional securities laws to digital assets has been fraught with ambiguity and legal challenges, with ongoing lawsuits against Ripple Labs and Coinbase setting significant precedents for the entire cryptocurrency industry. As the crypto industry evolves, the SEC's mandate and approach may not be fit to regulate this new asset class, requiring a flexible, forward-looking regulatory approach that balances investor protection with fostering innovation and encourages international cooperation to address the global nature of cryptocurrencies. In the meantime, educating and informing the public about the nuances of crypto is crucial to mitigate the high risks associated with crypto investments. Cryptocurrencies need a regulator that understands their uniqueness and is agile enough to keep up with the rapid pace of innovation to fully realize their transformative potential. SEC versus Ripple. Recent reports have stated that Ripple Labs is expected to allocate approximately $200 million towards the defense of the SEC lawsuit. Nevertheless, according to top venture capitalist Jason Calacanis, Ripple could have spent less if it had registered XRP as a security. Ripple's CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, responded by criticizing Calacanis for his apparent lack of knowledge about securities laws. This exchange came about after Calacanis made comments about Garlinghouse's recent interview, where he mentioned that Ripple's legal battle with the SEC would result in significant costs for the company. According to Jason, XRP is obviously a security, and he believes that Ripple could have saved a lot of money if it had registered the token with the SEC as a security. Jason thinks Ripple should have followed the same rules as other participants in the cryptocurrency industry. The SEC, which is aggressively targeting cryptocurrency, has accused Ripple of violating federal securities laws. The complaint centers on the company's sale of XRP without first registering the cryptocurrency with the regulatory agency. In a debate regarding the security classification of XRP, Ripple's CEO Brad Garlinghouse challenged Jason's understanding of securities regulations. Garlinghouse chastised Jason for making contentious statements without proper knowledge, calling his claim embarrassing and comically wrong. Garlinghouse pointed out that U.S. authorities have yet to issue specific guidelines for registering digital assets. The heated exchange between Ripple and Jason highlights the ongoing debate surrounding the lack of a clear rulebook for cryptocurrencies in the United States. John E. Deaton, an attorney representing XRP holders as amicus curiae, also weighed in on the argument initiated by Jason. Deaton distinguished between the claim that Ripple sold XRP as a security and the claim that XRP, which is essentially a line of code within the software, is a security, to avoid similar legal action by the SEC. The legal analyst also inquired about the registration status of other cryptocurrencies, such as Ethereum, ETH, Cardano, ADA, Algorand, Algo, and Stellar, XLM. As the 3-year-long dispute between Ripple and the SEC nears its conclusion, it is expected that the outcome will set a standard for how cryptocurrencies, particularly altcoins, are regulated under U.S. securities and commodities laws. Is XRP Ripple moving out of the U.S.? The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, Wall Street's chief regulator, has been seeking to regulate digital assets. Despite their efforts, companies associated with Bitcoin have alleged that the Commission has failed to give the required clarification surrounding legislation. As a result, some organizations are considering shifting abroad, including Ripple Labs. Republicans in the U.S. House Committee on Financial Services has attacked the SEC's enforcement-based approach to regulation, claiming that it drives innovation in the crypto industry to other nations and poses a threat to American investors and competitiveness. However, the GOP has claimed that it seeks to establish legislative clarity for digital assets to protect the technology and its benefits within the United States. Susan Friedman, Ripple's International Policy Counsel, has emphasized that concerns about innovation shifting overseas are not unfounded. According to her, significant players in the crypto industry have already started relocating to regions such as Europe. In a report by Coinbase, it was stated that the EU Parliament has given its endorsement to the first set of regulations for tracking crypto asset transfers and preventing money laundering. By voting 517 in favor and 38 against, the lawmakers have given the green light to the Markets in Crypto Assets (MiCA) initiative. This legal framework was informally agreed upon with the Council in June 2022 and incorporates safeguards against financial crime and market manipulation. Ripple's Policy Council has advocated for Europe, where crypto regulations are on the path to clarity, thanks to MiCA. She further stated that the U.S.'s regulatory inaction is a tangible issue that has resulted in job losses and decreased investment. SEC versus Coinbase. The Chamber of Digital Commerce, CDC, which is the biggest blockchain advocacy and trade group globally, has recently announced its support for Coinbase in the exchange's legal and public relations battle with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. In an effort to counter the SEC's negative attitude towards cryptocurrencies, the CDC filed an amicus brief on Tuesday, stating that this approach is causing significant economic damage. As a nonprofit trade association that works with government officials to promote the use of blockchain and crypto, the CDC has filed an amicus brief in the ongoing court case between Coinbase, a prominent U.S. exchange, and the SEC. The Chamber of Digital Commerce submitted an amicus brief to a court of law in support of Coinbase's July 2022 petition for regulatory guidance. An amicus brief is a legal document that allows a non-litigant to provide their expertise or opinion in a case as a friend of the court. CDC argued that the SEC's failure to respond to Coinbase's petition is causing significant economic harm to both Coinbase and the broader business community. The CDC seeks formal rulemaking within the digital assets sector and supports Coinbase's efforts to determine when a token sale constitutes an investment contract, which would qualify it as a securities offering. This brief was filed on May 9th. The amicus brief highlights the CDC's concern regarding the need for clear regulations governing digital assets. According to the brief, the Chamber's members, including companies subject to U.S. securities laws, are strongly invested in achieving regulatory clarity. They fear that the Securities and Exchange Commission's current approach to digital assets may have adverse effects on their business operations. Over the past few months, the SEC has taken action against several entities it deemed to have issued unregistered securities, with a particular focus on crypto-related cases. The frequency of these cases has increased recently, with the SEC even expanding the size of its digital assets enforcement team. What do you think about the SEC Rampage? And do you think they're justified? Comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is the Cryptonomy Times,